Hello and welcome to the Lockdown Diaries with me, Chris Carl. Day 35 of lockdown here in Spain. I'm an English guy on the Costa del Sol. Normally this podcast goes out every day. There's been a little bit of a glitch, but we are back. And this podcast is available now also on YouTube. So what's it all about? Well, just a few tips and laughs to keep us going during the lockdown and allow me to talk to myself. So what's been going on with me? Well, I've got to say, I'm beginning to be able to hear myself blink and I don't like it. I have been trying to keep myself busy. I was in fact going to go on a diet, but I've got far too much on my plate at the moment. For example, I have been teaching myself ventriloquism. Yes, the ancient and revered craft of ventriloquism. I'm a big fan of the actress, comedian and ventriloquist Nina Conti. If you haven't seen Nina Conti, do look her up on the old interwebby dongly thing. She is absolutely brilliant, a great ventriloquist. So inspired by her, I've been teaching myself ventriloquism, and I shall be premiering that possibly tomorrow. I am going to release a video on Facebook and YouTube of me practicing the art of ventriloquism. You have been warned. Being sat on your own, your mind does wander a little bit, and I have been considering some of life's greater mysteries. For example, which letter is silent in the word scent? The C or the S? Do twins ever realise that one of them is unplanned? And finally, the other ponder that I have been mulling over in my mind is what happens if you get scared half to death twice? Now on today's show, I thought we'd have a little look at actors' superstitions. Actors are known, of course, to be very, very superstitious. The most famous superstition of all, of course, is regarding the Scottish play by Shakespeare. You cannot say the name of the Scottish play in a theatre. However, I'm not in a theatre, I'm barely in a flat, so I can say it. I am, of course, talking about Macbeth. And if you do utter that word in a theatre, you are required to go outside the theatre, come back in, knock on the dressing room door or the theatre door, spit and spin round 3 times, just to make sure that there's no bad luck. Another one, of course, is saying break a leg. Break a leg has many, many origins. One being, and the most popular, I suppose, is that if you do get a huge round of applause, you go down on one knee, which means breaking one's leg line. So actors wish each other break a leg, meaning they hope they get great applause. Another one is regarding ghosts in the theatres. Many theatres are very old. Darkened theatres and empty stages are always provided with what is called a ghost light. So just a little light on the stage, and the idea is that the ghost is being given its night on the stage. Possibly it's more practical than that and just stops people falling over when they first come into work. So bearing all that in mind, I thought I'd have a quick look at some of the stranger superstitions held by celebrities. First up, Colin Farrell, brilliant Irish actor. You must check him out in The Gentleman. He is brilliant in that film. Colin Farrell has a couple of very strange superstitions. Back in 2011, he offered about £20,000 as a reward for the return of his lucky belt. Yes, the thing you put around your waist to hold your trousers up. He revealed that the belt was given to him by his dad, Eamon, and it's been very important to his success. I think because he's a good actor, also contributed to that. Also, Farrell admitted that he used to have a pair of lucky boxers given to him by his brother. They're covered in shamrocks and say the luck of the Irish on the waistband, and he says that he wears those boxer shorts on the first day of every movie that he's ever been in. That must be why he's successful. Victoria Beckham, she of the Spice Girls, etc. She says she's got many strange backstage rituals. She says, you would probably think I was a little weird. I carry my crystals with me. No, that's not the reason we think that, Victoria. She says, I also don't walk under ladders, and if I see magpies, I salute them because, you know, it's bad luck if you don't say good morning to a magpie. Musician Chris Martin says that he never goes on stage without brushing his teeth. That's his superstition. Mine, to ward off bad luck, is not to listen to Coldplay. Taylor Swift, however, has quite a superstition. She says that she was born on the 13th, turned 13 on Friday the 13th. Her first album went gold in 13 weeks. Her first #1 single had a 13-second introduction, so therefore her lucky number is 7. No. She says it's 13, obviously. She's always in the 13th seat or the 13th row when she's at award ceremonies. And she always writes the number 13 on her hand before every performance. There we are. There's a few celebrity superstitions for today. All right, time for my binge-watching recommendation. Every podcast I give you a little idea of something to watch to while away the hours. And today's recommendation is called The Stranger. Not the Albert Camus thing. It's a British mystery thriller. First premiered on Netflix in January this year, starring Richard Armitage, Siobhan Finneran, Jennifer Saunders, yes, she of French and Saunders, and Hannah John Cameron. It is absolutely gripping. I started watching it the other day and I cannot stop. It is brilliant. The premise is such. A mysterious this stranger tells a man a secret, and it has a big, devastating impact on his previously seemingly perfect life. This stranger is a woman in her 20s. She wears a baseball cap. Nobody knows anything about her, but she does keep telling people secrets that completely changes their lives, including this poor man, played by Richard Armitage, the protagonist, I suppose. The secret he learns completely affects his wife, who actually goes missing as a result. And all the other main characters are also heavily involved in all the twists and turns and secrets and deviousness. There are 8 episodes. They're all about 40-odd minutes long, and it was produced by somebody with a beautiful name, Madonna Baptiste. It also stars the very engaging and very funny actor and comedian Paul Kay. So if you like a little bit of mystery and intrigue and a beautifully filmed British thriller, this is definitely for you. I was hooked after just a few minutes. It's called The Stranger. Now, before we move on to my drama game for today, just something to keep you busy and keep the creative juices flowing. A lot of family and friends, of course, are worried about me, sat here in my little flat on my own, here on the Costa del Sol. Let me reassure you, I went out shopping today. I got all the essentials, don't worry. And if you don't believe me, here they are. Alright, so let's move on to my drama game for today. And today's game is very, very simple. In pairs, one person is somebody who has lost, let's say, 20 euros on the street. It's fallen out of their pocket or something. Now, they can decide that their character is very, very poor or desperately needs that 20 euros to buy food for their family. The other person is somebody who picks up and finds the 20 euros, and they can make a decision about what character they are. It can also be somebody that desperately needs the money, or it can be somebody who doesn't. That's up to them. And then they have to decide what they're going to do with the 20 euros. The one who's lost it obviously is going to be looking around for it, desperately trying to find their money. The other one who's found it then has to decide what they're going to do. Are they going to try and find the person that's lost the money? Are they going to pocket it and go and spend it on themselves? So you've got to choose the character and choose what they are going to do. And as an added bonus to that, you can also get the children of the family or the group of people you're with, your lockdown crew, to act out a scene, and the theme has to be random act of kindness. All right, that's your drama game for today. It is time for Carlos White, a mate of mine here on the Costa del Sol and a big lover of puns. He likes to call himself the Punisher, and for every episode of this podcast, The Lockdown Diaries, with me, Chris Carl, he does like to provide a pun. So here's Carlos's pun for today. And he says he's been inspired by many of the Facebook videos that you see of people singing. And he and his family, who he's in lockdown with, have decided to form a musical group and perform hits from musical films. And they're going to call themselves the Von Trapped Family. Thank you very much, Carlos. Loving it. He'll be back with more puns. I'm not sure if that's a threat or a promise on the next episode of the Lockdown Diaries. Before I go, just a big thank you to all the Facebook pages who share this podcast. I very much appreciate you. It gives me great pleasure doing this, and it makes me very, very humble, all the thousands of people around the world who listen to this. So thank you to Family Lockdown Tips and Ideas, Family Lockdown Tips and Ideas UK, What's On in La Cala, Brexpats in Spain. There are so many pages up and down the Costa del Sol who are supporting this as well. Thank you, guys. I love you all. You're really wonderful people. As I say, I will be hopefully releasing a video tomorrow on Facebook and YouTube showcasing my new learned talent of ventriloquism, and hopefully there'll be a new episode of this podcast. You can find the Lockdown Diaries by searching on Facebook for the Lockdown Diaries. Lockdown is all one word. Or look for Chris Carl, K-A-R-L-E, Chris Carl, K-A-R-L-E, on YouTube or Facebook. You can find the Lockdown Diaries on YouTube and Facebook. I'm also on Twitter, got lots of followers, well, dozens, and in fact a very beautiful and famous actor, she followed me on Twitter, so I've started to follow her as well, all the way home. Right, better move on, that was a bit creepy. That is just about all I've got time for. Thank you so much for listening to me, Chris Carl, and the Lockdown Diaries. You can also find me on a local radio station here on the Costa del Sol, 93.6 Global Radio. That is worldwide on www.global.fm. I'll be back with more Lockdown Diaries, possibly tomorrow. Do please keep safe, stay at home. We're going to have to beat this by doing the right thing, and that means following instructions, staying at home, and be positive. Keep being kind, keep being positive, keep being loving, and keep your creative juices going. Thank you very much. I'll speak to you very soon, and goodbye now.